Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bad Notice Season 3. This one is 1 through 16. Once again, no more 12s. So Bad Notice, last time we left them off, he was jumping out of a helicopter into the ocean. He had to swim 5 miles from that point to the beach, and then he's wanted for arrest. So he gets into a hotel. He could escape, but he shouldn't because there's big talk on the CBs for the police. So he surrenders. He goes to jail. Asks a bunch of questions, and he pretends like he doesn't remember. And so Michael Weston, up to this point, doesn't have a bank account. Doesn't have really anything to identify himself. So Sam is trying to get that stuff together, and then Harlem breaks him out, releases him from jail. Harlem knows like a big time lawyer, whatever. Puts Harlem Mandel charge, holding him as a political prisoner. So he gets released from jail, and then Harlem finds a girl that needs help. Her family, she's foreign. Family's getting killed by these people in Miami who runs something, oil fields, whatever. So Michael tries to kidnap the boss man. So during the kidnapping of the boss man, to make him change his ways, actually it's like to give him to the Russians or something, and then it changes, and then Harlem kidnaps Michael to give him to the Russians for a price. Basically selling Michael Weston for money, because Michael Weston is a big bad boy, and he's wanted around the world, dead. So Season 3, Episode 2, Michael gets to meet Detective
Mr. Weston, Detective Paxson, Miami PD. This is Detective Lopez. You mind if we ask you a couple questions?
I'm in the middle of something.
Weston's been investigating the explosions in Miami for the last 2 years. And Michael Weston's been in Miami for the last 2 years. So, none better than Michael Weston to look into. This kid gets kidnapped, but the mom doesn't know that the kid's been kidnapped. She just thinks that's been being irresponsible. So they hire Michael Weston to settle, the arrangement of who gets to watch the kid, and and then you find out the kid's been kidnapped. And the reason why the kid's been kidnapped is because these people work in a diamond factory, not a factory, but like a diamond store, They're gonna use them to steal a large shipment of diamonds, That's why they got the kid, but the kid's too old for to just be returned. So it's not like the kid will be returned. So the kid will be murdered. So Michael does a reverse interrogation where he's held hostage, and it looks like he's held hostage, and then Chuck gets to play. Well, Sam is Chuck. Chuck is Sam, but they're two different characters, in my opinion. Chuck Finley gets to play a dirty detective, or a dirty cop, and has the captain, the leader of the kidnapping, to interrogate Michael. And then by this interrogation, the kidnapper finds out false news about, Flowers is turning against them, and so he goes Flowers is watching the kid, so they can track the kid
You
down.
thought you could steal from me?
And
The hell
they
you
save
saying?
The
Where's
and
the
then
kid?
Flowers and each other
I know what you did,
kill each
Jimmy.
other because
I know your flowers. I know where. Wrong guy to double cross.
Best to have business arguments unarmed.
and I
When
saved the kid.
tempers are high and everyone's got a
Kirsten
gun,
finds one of the
you never
best
know
storage
what's
units.
going to set someone
There's a
off.
lot of weapons in there. So she gets a search warrant to break in to raid the. To break in, right? And it's also Michael's birthday. Michael Weston's birthday, which is in this episode, episode 2. Which is crazy because his birthday is never mentioned in any other episode. So, Michael breaks into his own storage place, cuts a hole in the back wall with that super powerful water diamond cutter or whatever, and steals all his stuff. So, Pearson has nothing to hold against Michael when she gets that search warrant to check the storage unit. Michael gets a gift from Sam, which is some fancy beer. And Michael's like, just drink it, Sam. And then Fiona gets hand-to-hand combat World War I Burnett because Michael's mom tells Fiona it's trench warfare. So Michael tries to get a joint account with the mayor. Well, it does get a fake joint account to get Pearson in trouble, but it doesn't work. Partner gets fired because the partner was just doing their job, interrogating the mayor for having a joint bank account, but the bank account was faked by Barry with Michael Weston. So Brendan starts a war because the chip thing that he stole and then they gave back. Season 2, Brendan returns. So the people that wanted that chip were after him because they thought he had it. So he had them fight each other. He developed something to make that happen. And then he's using... Nate gets interrogated by Pearson, but he doesn't give up any information. But he's back in Miami because he thinks he has an investment deal in his limo business. And it's not, it's just Brendan using Nate as a hostage, but Nate doesn't know he's a hostage to make Michael Weston steal this biolock. And then Michael has Sam get all the information about Brendan, and then drains his bank, makes it look like his bank accounts are drained, his house blows up, all that stuff, and then that doesn't work because Brendan is like, yeah, I can replace all that stuff, and then he threatens his niece, and then Brendan says, if anything happens here, I will, scorch the earth, So that happens, So Michael looks into one of Paxton's biggest guys that she's been trying to take down, and then that guy filed a harassment against her. So now that guy has nothing to worry about. But this guy, what he does, he just goes around stealing from drug dealers. And then, so Michael gets him trapped in a meth thing, like a building full of meth that they were going to steal.
Not here.
All right,
Gets him
look,
trapped
open
in
the
there.
door. Tommy screwed up. Something ain't right.
Actually, I think it's you that screwed up. You screwed up bad.
From killing them.
There's the cops. You gotta run.
You're setting me up.
And
Not used to
Paxton
being the guy in
recognizes
the
the
trap,
C4.
are you?
The C4.
What made you think you could piss off every drug dealer and cop in town and not get any payback?
So
Oh, wait. That's your problem.
she knows
You
it's Michael
don't
Weston,
think.
and then she's like, "So you want a free pass?" And Michael's like, "If it was a pass, it's anything but free." It's that pass, but he really worked for it. And this guy helped him take down this bad guy who worked for the bad guy. His name was Tommy, and Tommy was on the fence, and he's tired of being a bad guy. So without Tommy, it would have been a lot more difficult. And Tommy goes to legit. Sam has trouble with the IRS, and then Sam finds out that through a lot of chit chat and arguing and stuff like that, that the IRS guy used to be a kid that dated Sam David, that kid's mom. So the kid was resentful because Sam never took him to a baseball game, but they make up and they become friends. sends Pearson back down and all that stuff. Fiona thinks that they can change their life together, like Tommy did, and be together and stuff like that. And then Michael's like, nah, my job. So season 3, Michael and Sam stalks the airport for like a week, like 5 days or something crazy like that. And then so they get the information about the airplane and like something like that, and then Michael breaks in a places where they keep the hangar information and who owns that plane, and then with that information they use Barry to go to DC, and then Barry charges him $1,000 to do that because he has to spend time with his mother, and Michael's like, I understand that, that's okay. And then they get the information, and then we get to meet Diego. Diego's a very important character in later episodes. Michael gets introduced to Spencer. Spencer is schizophrenic, or seems schizophrenic, but he was able to track Michael down. You know, he knows that Michael's a spy, and a good one. And so that blows Michael's brain away, and it kind of like blows him off here and there. And then he says the magic words. He says, well, I found you. So, you know, how crazy am I? And Spencer's boss is like a woman that kills people and exposes people, sells secrets, like IT stuff for the United States of America. So they lock her up. Michael meets Tom Strickler. Because, I don't know, because. And Tom Strickler hires Michael to take care of the Ukrainian guy that wants to kill Michael. So it's just kind of like you really had no choice but to deal with this thing. And then he uses Fee's connection. It's not really Fee's connection because she stole from him. So he has to walk up cold to Beck. And then Beck and them don't like each other. And then the Ukrainians kidnap him. And then they escape and they fight in the Mediterranean, like the Mediterranean, in the middle of like whatever. And then after they survive fighting back at home, they're trying to find Michael because Michael got kidnapped. You know, Sam and Fiona. And then Mama hears about it. Michael's mom hears about it, and she's like, yo, let me in, I need to know, this is my boy, you know. And they find a guy that will know where Michael is, and you get to see where Michael's savageness comes from.
Sorry, I don't mean to bother you, it's just I need a little peace and quiet. They get loud when they're angry. Well insulated. You can't even hear a peep from that side. Probably why they like it so much. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't give you the wrong impression. I have never once ever seen them make anyone suffer. If they don't think you'll break, they end it quick. You sure you don't want a cigarette? It's good for the nerves. It's not like you have to worry about getting cancer anymore.
When Michael's mom interrogates somebody, it's pretty ferocious. In episode 7, Tom Strickler has another job for Michael. This job helps him get closer to not being burned. It's just a bunch of camera work. He takes a bunch of photos of stuff. Either blackmail or help move him up, and then he uses Diego to find how powerful Tom Strickler is, and he finds out that Tom can make shit happen. So he works a little harder for Tom. And then in this episode, we get to meet a 14-year-old kid whose stepdad is very abusive to his mom and very rich and has some bad brothers. Like his brothers are like killers and stuff like that, and they use that brother that's abusive to the 14-year-old's mom as the poster kid, or the good guy. Like they hired underneath him to help do their organized crime. And then so Michael, being from a family with an abusive father, you know, he fucking sends this guy to the psychic ward.
Has he been talking about the killers?
You said there were killers.
He sees assassins everywhere, and now he claims to be hiring killers of his own to go after the other killers. I've tried to help.
It's all right, Eric. Your mind is sick. I know your pain.
It's like a hospital. And kid learned a lot from Michael. I don't think that kid ever gets to, I don't think we ever get to see that kid again. Which would have been pretty cool, right? You know what I mean? Like in season 6 or whatever, he came back and he's like, hey, I'm that fucking kid. He's like a badass, but that doesn't happen. But anyway, Michael thinks that Tom is his secret way back to his job. Barry needs help getting his ledger back. And he has a book filled with all the people that he hides money for. He's a money launderer professional, you know. And so I think the boss of the person that kidnapped the ledger and is gonna sell it for like $1 million or $2 million or whatever. They think it's a dude, and then so they get a dude and a girl, and they're having them hostage, and they're being really polite to the girl because the girl's like crying and stuff. And then so as the episode progresses, she escapes, and then you find out that she's the big boss, and then they get the ledger back, but she gets the money and she escapes.
Hello again. It's over, Natalie.
You know what? Natalie's just a name on a passport.
Whatever your name is.
You lose.
I always tell my buyers to put 2 things in the trunk. Duffel full of cash and a gun full of bullets.
You were so sweet about Jared. Or whatever his name was, because that was just a picture and a keychain. Now, I know that you are not the type to shoot into a crowd of little kids, but I am.
And she comes back in a later season, and she's a real freaking twat. I really don't like her. Barry and Michael are even now, because Michael's been using Barry for jobs and not paying him. Well, he paid him for that DC thing, but family problems. Anyways, season 3, episode 9. Fiona can't stand Michael.
Fiona, blind bat.
Fiona.
There you
can't
go.
stand working. Fiona can't. Why can't I speak English? Fiona can't stand Michael working with Tom, so she plans to go back to Ireland. And Michael doesn't want her to go, and she's looking for a 45, and Michael kind of like hides it, you know, cheesy kid stuff. And then they run into his name. Okay, so Fiona plans to move back to Ireland, the gun thing, and then Fiona's brother shows up. Fiona's brother only knows Michael as Michael McBride, an Irishman. That's how Fiona and them met. It's in Ireland, and Michael wanted the undercover name is Michael McBride, and he left her, you know, stranded in the middle of the night, just vanished, like a shitty stepfather or a shitty. But they didn't have a kid. Anyways, so this guy named Thomas O'Neill has like Navy SEAL 6 type of army, because they're trying to get Fiona, so they need that kind of power. And so Thomas O'Neill wants to exchange Fiona, but Thomas has personal beef with Fiona, but he's getting paid a lot of money just to ship her back to Ireland to be murdered. So they eventually get Fiona. Fiona gets kidnapped, but when she gets kidnapped, the people that come in and shoot up the place, they don't kill Michael Weston, so Michael Weston finds, you know, in his brain, it's like, oh, Tom Strickler hired these people. So he goes to Tom, and he's like, yo, Fiona is not my past, she's my future. Kills that man, saves Fiona, and the bad guys get arrested. And then in the same episode, Diego gets killed because Michael killed Tom. So now there's bigger entity coming through Miami, cleaning up the mess. So Diego gets killed. So trying to find out who kills Diego, tracking down this man to a hotel, and then when he tries to sneak his way in the hotel, people are like, "Hey, Mr. Weston, we know it's you." So they give him a room number, and the room number is 302. 302 with angel numbers, or whatever that is. Angel love numbers. It's trying to find a like-minded person. And it's funny because this person thinks that Michael is a killer. Like he is. But Michael's not. Anyways, he sets the hotel on fire. They go to a stadium that's been abandoned for decades and gets shot up. And by that, they figure out who it is. And it's Gilroy. Gilroy is a very powerful figure in season 3. He's like Carla for season 3. Very, very evil man. Michael uses his mom as an asset to get information from the DMV because they're dealing with scammers, insurance scammers. So they need all that information to not blackmail, but get these people in trouble because they killed someone's husband to get money out of them. And it didn't make it look like he got killed. It was an accident, and so on and so forth. So Michael gets them arrested and uses his mom to get the information from the DMV. And then the mom learns how difficult it is to do this kind of work, and kind of grows like a respect. And then she finds out that Michael does this for the good, the better good, or you know what I mean, like for a bigger picture of good. You know what I mean? You might have to use good people, and it sucks, but.
Who says that you get to decide what's right and what's wrong? And who gets sacrificed for the greater good and who doesn't?
Do you think I like it? What can I do? People come to me.
Oh, don't give me that, Michael. You don't have to go running around blowing things up. Every time a problem comes your way, you were offered a job and you dragged me into it.
You think I do this for the money?
Yes!
You gotta do what you gotta do, and he's like, "You think I do this for the money? I don't do this for the money. I make more money being the bad guy." Episode 11, season 3, episode 11. Gilroy and Michael meet face to face. Gilroy wants to see what Michael can do. Michael gets a job, kinda. Well, the job gets presented to Sam by his former Navy friend who diddled with his wife, but Sam left his wife for like a decade, so it's kind of iffy on that one. And Michael wears like a cool like black and red suit, and he like snaps his fingers and things happen, you know. He also has this dude named Omar. Omar's having trouble with a rival gang, but Omar is like the Robin Hood to his city or neighborhood. So they're trying to track down this pedo / killer, and they do in the most gangster way. And then Gilroy likes what he sees. And then we get to see Sam and how he acts under duress or stress. And he doesn't drink beer. So if he's happy, go lucky, he's drinking beer. But he doesn't drink beer, maybe he's stressed. So 3, episode 12, we get to meet Sugar. Sugar was Michael's neighbor that pointed a gun at his head, tell him to get out. And so Michael shot him in the knee and made him move. But anyway, Sugar comes back asking Michael for help with his brother. His brother is Down syndrome, and then his brother works at a flower shop, and these people are using his brother, Sugar's brother, to steal a Brinks truck shipment. So they stop that and they get arrested because they got like automatics and stuff like that, and they broke into a warehouse. And Michael is forced to work with somebody to steal something, but it didn't work out because Michael compromised it. The guy breaks his ankle, and then Gilroy kills that guy because he's useless. So that's the kind of Gilroy is. And season 3, episode 13. Larry's back. Love Larry. In this episode, Larry, he uses psychological tactics, gaslighting. Gary wants private flights. He wants 6 weeks of private flights, so Michael uses Sam to get that information, which makes a distance between Sam and him, right? And then Larry tells Fiona about the 6 years that they worked together and what a great team they were together. So that makes a distance between Fiona and Michael. So Michael really feels alone, you know. And so Larry figures a way to get a hold of Michael's phone and, you know, control it. So like all calls that he makes and all calls he receives from Sam, Nate, anybody he knows is forwarded, deleted, so on and so forth. And then he's sitting in his room.
You're at a fork in the road, and I know you. This is not a tough call. Killing Carlos does not solve my problem. My name, it's in the air. I'll give you a new one. I'll protect. You're a shoe salesman from Buffalo. I have connections. I have guns. And I also have what you need most, the will. The will to act on our instincts, to get what we want. And what I want is to work with you again. I'll cut the head off the whole cartel if that's what it takes. But you know what's sad? I don't see anyone else stepping up to bail you out. It's do or die time, kid. What's it gonna be?
After a career spent doing bad things for good reasons, it's hard to say exactly where you draw the line. You might not know exactly until someone asks.
I'll kill Carlos. You take care of the rest.
Room getting ready to kill somebody, and then Nate's like, "Yo, man, I've been watching Mom, and you haven't answered my phone calls." And then Michael figures this out, and then Larry's he has a fake name, but he has a lot of money invested and stored in banks and stuff like that. So Michael uses that against him, and he has Larry Garmore call in something, and so he has to stay there and be a regular citizen, and he can't fake his death because all his investments. And Larry, in this episode, he pretends to be Michael Weston. He steals $2 million from the cartel, so Michael gives that money back. But they think Michael is Larry, and they don't know who real Michael is. So that's episode 13. Episode 14, Isabella hires Sam and Michael to find out where the stolen money is going, but she gets killed. So they pretend like they were in. Michael pretends like he's the guy who orchestrated the kill, and he's like one of the guys in the organization and so on and so forth to get this guy to turn on his people, and they all get caught and they all get arrested. And Sam, as Chuck Finley, gets to play like a snarly CSI kind of guy, you know, just dropping little hints, getting the killer frightened. The fake gun to make the killer, the non-killer, but the guy who hired the killer to go confront him with a fake gun, and they fight, and that's how they get caught. And they turn on each other. And then the flight plans is they're transporting a prisoner from Poland. Well, they think it's weapons, but it's a prisoner. It's a very bad person. And so it's from Poland to whatever. So they find a Poland spy, and Fiona, because that Michael is a Russian guy that's trying to steal information from this Poland, and Fiona pretends like she's there to help him, but it's just to give Michael the information about this man. Well, they don't know the name of the man, but then now they know it's a prisoner getting transported. That's what the flight plans was for.
They're from world-class bad guys, Michael.
I know. And somebody wants my help to break them out.
It's to figure out where this plane is transporting the prisoner so they can steal him and bring him to Miami. So, it's a very dangerous person. Fiona does a job a little too big for her, as Michael's dealing with Gilroy. Has to steal. He stole a very powerful, high-powerful weapon for the landing of the prisoner to keep the cops at bay. Michael's trying to do everything he can to keep this prisoner from escaping, but fails. And then Michael gets blamed for all the killings that Gilroy does to try to set this prisoner free. And Fiona gets a little too attached to the guy that she's trying to take down, and like the guy tries to end himself, and then Fiona almost dies trying to save him. Crazy episode. Gilroy gets killed by...
Long enough, you'll see everything. What happened? Paid me $10 million. Turns out his plan was to shoot me. Come after you. Who? His name is Simon. Apparently I'm not his only friend in Miami.
Samson. Samson is the prisoner. And we find out about Fiona's sister, who was killed by the IRA. And then so Fiona blows up half Ireland because killed her sister. So we find out about Fiona. And so Samson is now in Miami. So Samson is the guy's Samson's profile is the profile that they gave Michael Weston to burn him, to blacklist him. So 90% of what Samson did, all the bad stuff, Michael got blamed for. And so the FBI is investigating this, and they think it's Michael Weston, and they interrogate Mama, and she ain't giving up because she knows her boy. And so Michael uses Sam and Fiona, and he calls management back from season 2 to help him take down Samson. And it takes all of them to take this guy down. Like, it's just such a very powerful figure. And then after they take down Samson, Michael Weston gets transported to a black site where he gets to meet Vlad. I think that's his name, Vlad. And this whole time, Michael's mom's been interrogated, trying to get information about Michael's whereabouts from Mom. And then when he gets arrested and transported into the FBI's custody, he gets taken out to the black site, right? And then so Mom has no idea where her son went, so she gets fucking flabbergasted. And the episode ends with Michael at the black site. And then that's where they pick up on season 4, episode 1. Anyways, that's been Burn Notice season 3. Have a great day or night. Farewell.